out the Daily Grind show every Sunday from 4 to 6 with DJ Bugsy.
It's your boy DJ Bugsy. We behind the scenes talking about Nicki Minaj, Trey Songz, we in our bags. I want to ask you about the ADHD because my son actually has it, and I want to know: do you feel that labels are put on African American boys and girls as opposed to it really being about ADHD? Do you think it's like a label that society puts on our young boys and girls, or do you think it's an actual thing?
It depends on the child.
Okay.
Because one of my fights with the school board was stating that even though he had ADHD, that they would say was another child in the room that may have ADHD and they don't act like this. But every child is different. It don't matter what they have.
Right.
Every child is different, so it's up to the parent, and this is why I did the book, because it's up to the parent to advocate for the child. And in order to do that, you have to educate yourself on whatever it is that the child they may be diagnosed with.
Right.
So when you educate yourself, then you know you'll do better.
Absolutely.
You'll help them do better. Because what people don't understand is what the child goes through when they undiagnosed, and if they does have this, and how they being treated, and how it makes them feel. So then the other side might be looking at them being mischievous or bad, when it's just they just trying to tell somebody that they need assistance with whatever is going on with them. And I think that's where the parents or the caregivers come in. So yeah. So I'm the reasons why I did the book basically was just to educate, empower, and encourage parents to be there for your children. Be open to listen to what they're saying. I wasn't the parent that say, "Oh, not my child." Come in, have the meet, and listen to what the facts are, and then make a decision. And I just think that, you know, if we as parents or caregivers go in and advocate for our child and listen to the child, because the child is not always wrong. They're not always wrong.
I will speak. I have a 14-year-old son, and he's not diagnosed with ADHD, but he's he really is, and I'm sure you can attest to that, you know. And I've been told, oh, maybe you should get him diagnosed, maybe you should get him evaluated, and this and that. My son had IEP, my son got suspended, and this and that. So I'm sitting here listening to you. We going through a rough patch. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I don't have a lot to say because I'm going through that. Like I'm in that rough patch right now. So it's just like I will read the book simply because for nothing else but just to encourage me. You know what I mean? It's hard being a single mom out here. It's hard being a single mom raising a young man right now. It's hard being a single mom raising a young man in Philadelphia right now. So it's a lot. It's a lot of work, and just for you guys to have been able to turn that around. You know what I mean? For you to make that move, for you to be that mom that's working, that's doing this, because I can really identify with what you're saying. You know, I worked a job and got 3 hustles and got another child and all that. Yeah. So it's just like, it's a lot to it. But, you know, you pushed through and y'all made it. I'm a 9th grader, so I'm right where you probably was at the time. And it's just like, how does that feel? Like, looking back, like, I'm sure when you was sitting on your bed crying, praying.
There you go.
To the God you understanding, like, yo, I can't do this. I cannot do this.
And you do say that.
When I tell you, I'm right now, this very moment, I am I cannot do this. How did that feel? Right now, with your son being 23 years old.
Can I just give you some encouragement? Because the one thing that I would encourage you to do is don't close your mind. Don't say, not my child.
Right.
Because it don't hurt to still get them evaluated.
Right.
And then you make decisions from there. Because what I didn't want to do is I did not want to say, oh, as soon as they told me, at first I was thinking that the teachers, because they wasn't the same, you know, ethnicity, I didn't want to, I didn't believe that they understood my son.
Right.
So but what I did, I had to pray about it, and I said, you know, I don't want to have a closed mind, so in order to be able to help him, I have to open my mind so I can be able to help him. So if they're saying that this is what they believe might be going on, it's not going to hurt for me to get him evaluated. And then once he get evaluated, then learn about it, and then I can help him be the best young man that he can be.
Because there is a whole lot of, oh, well, now they're going to have to be on medication, and now they're going to have to do this, and, oh, they're going to act crazy, and all that.
I talk about all that in this book right here, about the medication stage, about the evaluation stage, from when he was younger to a teenager. I talk about all that in the book because there's different stages to it, because they grow.
Right.
They grow. And the one thing I did do, I always try to have support around me to where as though I didn't leave them alone a lot. Because that's when they get into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So when I move, you move.
Right.
Just
like
like
that.
Just like that.
You know,
Just like that.
And when I had to work, then I had support. My mom, can you pick them up? You know, and I had to be strategic about who I had to pick them up. I couldn't just get a random person because they might not be a match for him.
Okay.
You know, they might not be a match for him. So you have to be careful of who you have around him,
Okay.
especially now. He's in 9th grade, so we'll talk behind the scenes.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. So I hope that was encouraging to you.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I
I'm sitting here
pray.
soaking it up. Yeah,
Yes.
I usually have a whole lot to say. I'm listening. I'm listening because
I do understand. I trust me. I do understand. But just hold on. Just hold on. Look at this as a storm. Remember that storm we was talking behind the scenes? That storm it's going to pass.
Right.
But it's how you get through that process is how successful your son's going to be.
Absolutely.
And he needs you. So you can't give up because who else is going to be there for him? You can't give up.
Right.
God loaned them to us, so you got to do the job
Right.
until God takes them back. So you charge with that.
Amen.
You're charged with that.
That.
Okay, so we have to stand strong. Make that stance, like in basketball. Get in your stance. So everything that comes to you in reference to your son, it feels like a truck is running you over. You get in that stance, and you hold your head up because you can do this. You can do this.
So how do you juggle entertainment? Because I know the medical field can be demanding at times, depending on what kind of level you're on. So how do you balance still trying to, help people in the medical side as opposed to being in the entertainment business?
Well, my job is a little flexible because we make our own schedule. So I always would do things around that if I could. If not, unfortunately, I had good coworkers that would exchange days with me. I would work.
Wow.
I would work maybe every Sunday, so I can have every Saturday off or something like that. I work 2 12s, 2 8s. So that meant, I might have 5 days off in a row every other week.
Right.
So I was able to finagle things, and I just used that to my advantage to get things done.
Make the most out of it.
Yeah, because I was doing overtime still. I still do overtime
You
now.
still do
Oh,
overtime? She like, look, them bunny bags coming in.
Right.
Still,
All of them. You need all them checks.
Yeah.
All those checks.
Yes. Yes.
But also, I want to know what was it like being, because I know you was a single mother. So how was that like, just in itself? Like,
Being a single parent was difficult. It was hard, but for me, I had to learn. I had to learn how to adjust to being a single parent because, of course, there's no rules when you're raising children, whether you're single or not. I did have some support, but at the end of the day, I was there 24/7 for my children. So that's what made me a single parent because I wasn't married.
Okay.
And then I had to adjust and learn how to deal with Brashear's ADHD, which became hard at times because there was a lot of things I had to go through with the school board. And in order to do the things I need to do for him, I had to educate myself on his disorder, which was ADHD. And because I did that, I was able to effectively, intelligently do the things that I need to do to help him be successful in anything that he wanted to do. Because he didn't always want to do music at first. It was football, basketball, things of that nature.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask. That was actually going to be my next question. It's funny, you already led me to it. So I was going to say, what was it like for him transitioning? Because I remember I actually see him on the reel, and he was talking about how that wasn't his original thing. He was trying to do like the sports thing.
Oh, he was good. Yeah, he was very good.
I think you say he hurt himself.
Yeah, he was very good. They was actually scouting him for football when he got hurt. He had got hurt in 2 places. His arm snapped in 2 places, and I was there, and he didn't realize actually that he got injured until after he made the play, and then he was still running with his arm dangling when he realized that something was wrong, and I guess the adrenaline then wore off, and then he had to get major surgery, and the recovery for I think it was about 6 months. So during that 6-month recovery period is when he realized that he wanted to do rap. And I didn't believe him for almost a year because I've already had been in the game for almost 10 years or more. And I wanted to, I wanted him to take me serious in whatever I wanted him to do. And I wanted to make sure he was serious in what he wanted to do. So I didn't believe him, and then he went behind my back and got with a producer that was a friend of mine, and the producer called me because they know how my parenting is, and then they know if he's down there, he's a teenager, and I wasn't there, then I definitely didn't know about it.
Right.
So he called me, and then when he did call me and tell me about it, I said, well, I was upset, and he said, just listen to the music first. Yeah.
You be
He
good.
said, listen to the music first, and when I did, I said, effective immediately, I will be managing him. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's what's going to happen.
And
Straight like that.
That's it. And after that, that's when I started to artist develop him, because I started to ask him really, like, you know, what else do you want to do? Do you want to just be a rapper, or would you like to pursue other things? And I try to instill in him that don't put yourself in a box. Just because I understand you want to be a rapper, but I see so much more in you. I feel like that you can be a model, you can act, you can sing, you can dance. So with that being said, I said, well, you are this rapper, there's a million rappers in Philly. We need to do something different. You need to be an entertainer.
Right.
Because you want people to pay to come see you. The best thing to do is you need to become an entertainer. So I started to get somebody to help me with teaching them how to dance. So we would have rehearsals. I had audition dancers. The stipulations that there will be no twerk dancers. Dance is my background, so I wanted to be professional. I had strict contracts between myself, the parents, and the child, because they were underage and he was older, so I had to protect him. And the agreement was that they had to come dressed appropriate. If you come dressed not appropriate, you will be asked to leave. Your school had to be on point. You had to get good grades, and your social media had to be clean, because he's a brand. And I was very strict. I had a social media manager just to watch anybody that was around us. I had somebody watching their social media to make sure that things were done and ran properly. And I was at every rehearsal. And Yaz was very hands-on with his rehearsals. And I was just so proud of him. You know, just even being open to my ideas in reference to him wanting to dance and then bringing a band in. He had a live band at the level he was at. So then we had to teach the dancers how to have an ear for their music, because things happen. So my thing was, I had to teach them how to troubleshoot. What are you going to do if the music stopped? You know, so it was. We had class. Class was in session.
I very much can see that even just in his demeanor, because when I was watching the reel and watching his interview, he's very humble and well spoken, and he gives a lot of his account to you, and like I think he even mentioned his grandmother and everything like that. And I was like, whoa, I was like, for him to be so, you know, on top, like crazy, drip drop, drip drip, all the time. For him to be, no, seriously, because as soon as he came in, everybody was like drip drop, like for him to be on such a plateau is like, to see him act so calmly and so like, look, this, you know, to my mother, blah blah, this is what I do. I'm like, wow. I said, if only more people could act like that when they make, you know, successful moves in their lives, you know. So it's just even just in the way he acts.
I don't know how he does it every day, because now with me, I've always been in the background, so I'm always the behind the scenes person. And now because of my book and my foundation and my pajama line that's coming and all these other things I have going on, now I'm in the forefront. And I was just telling my boyfriend, I was like, well, I don't understand how he does it, because this is new to me, and I'm exhausted.